Hello.
Good.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning. That's not morning. What am I saying? Good evening, New York.
Welcome back to Big Dapple number 8. Give us a round of applause. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We have made it to top 8. It took a bit longer than maybe anticipated, but we're here.
My bad, guys. Sorry, we were one of the last sets that had to finish.
Yeah, our bad. But it's like, it's 7:30, 7:45 right now. Perfect time for some Splatoon action here. And we got top 8 coming. And I believe our first set of top 8 is going to be Auntie versus I Love Chima. And by the way, I am DHVF. I am joined here tonight by Godels. And
that is me.
Godels, what can you tell us about these two teams to start?
What can I tell us about these? Okay, I Love Chima, consisting of JC Craft, Curse Electric, and Siasabi. I'm a big commentators. I'm not supposed to show bias, but I'm a big Craft fan. We saw him.
Big Craft fan?
Yeah, we saw this team earlier today. This was like, I guess, all-out midline offense. You could describe it with like the Dynamo, the Stamper, the Gluga Doolies, and the Bucket.
Yeah, I lovr Chima. That's the way they spelled it, but I believe it's meant to be, intentional stylistic typo there. They've honestly been one of the most sorry, technical difficulties here, but as I was saying, they have been one of the most interesting teams to watch here at this tournament. They have a comp of Gluga, Dynamo, Stamper, and Slosher, and they are one of the most aggressive teams here. They will never stop running at you. They will never stop jumping in to keep those fights going, and they are just always willing to take fights, always willing to take space, and it leads to some very interesting games here, very unique play style.
The Gridlock memories are coming back. We had to fight them at Gridlock, they did run at us and camped my jumps, camped my booyahs, showing themselves with their own booyahs.
It was an experience. And what about the other team, Auntie? What do they have going in?
Auntie is rocking Umbrella, Edit, Dually, and Bucket comp coming in. Slightly more backless, standard backless, I should say, relative to the all-fighting weapons variety. We got a little bit of a more traditional support with the edit over the unconventional angles that the Dynamo roller can take, for example. Brella's been, I think, doing excellent this tournament so far. Definitely gonna appreciates that land buff.
Yeah.
Not having to worry about any about the netcode errors that kind of plague it online, having some uncertainty and variance in whether or not your shield is actually gonna work.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It definitely gets that land buff. And this particular Umbrella player, Jovan, they are arguably the best Umbrella player in all of North America, and they are here playing it today.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, no, they are quite good with it. They made Splat World Series. They have got result after result with Umbrella. They are one of the most dedicated players on that weapon. So it'll be very interesting to see how I lovr Chima, that name is still funny to say, but it'll be interesting to see how they respond to that and if they have any answers. They have a lot of midlines. They have that sword. They have that Dynamo that could potentially match up well into that Umbrella. But I mean, they're just such a talented player with it that it's going to be challenging for them no matter what.
Yeah. Top 8 this time around was very competitive, and we got the maps. We're going to do Museum Clams first. Speaking of midline central, I'm thinking about all of the horrible spots that the Dynamo and the Bucket can be sloshing from behind ledges.
Yeah, for I lovr Chima, they've got to be thinking that this is a good first map to start on. With an even set at 0-0, they, like you said, they have a lot of ways that they can work this terrain favorably. There's a lot of good Dynamo spots under the ledge up to plat where those clams go in. They can work on the spinner terrain as well if they can get far enough there. I think Bucket can do that, Dynamo can do that, Sword can do that. Even Gluga's to an extent. Like, it's not really that, it doesn't really have the AoE as well. But, I mean, like, it has the midline power, it has the wall, it has the booyah, it has a lot of tools that it can use to create space for itself and really round out this really dangerous comp that if it gets going, it really gets going.
If it really gets going, I think it will really get going. My prediction for how Auntie is going to have to play this, they're going to have to be trying to catch the other team, Chima. It's very important for them to get those positions, not where they can just poke from ledge, but also be safe from a potential dive.
Yeah, this is a team that's going to be diving all the time. One might even say the word hyper dive. Oh, I don't know if I want to go there, but You know, this team, it's reminiscent. I was watching them play earlier in the day. I've seen them play at past Metro.Inc events, and they've done it really, really well. So we'll see how
Let's get into it. Let's get some hype for the first game of top 8. We see our midline central comp, and here's Auntie running a rapid pro instead of the tent this time around. A very interesting pick, giving it its own sort of ledge poking capabilities.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out that Slosher Deco on the side of I Love Chima as well. And if he goes down immediately, as I say, to JJ on the Brella, they're going to continue to fight Saisabi and the Glues. They get that kill as well. Curse, the last one in this area for Aljo, is going to go down as well. That's a delayed 3-down situation for Auntie here. Kraft is going to have to be forced to jump out there. Just like that, mid is fully controlled by Auntie as they look to get set up on the flat of I Love Chima.
I know Kraft really wanted to hold that corner as long as possible. With 3 people coming at you, it just wasn't meant to be. They're able to consolidate a lot of clams. However, Chima's able to poke them out with their overwhelming range. Here's a zip. Trying to catch more. So that ball is going to disappear. However, Auntie still has very large ping control of the map. A 2-player advantage. It's going to take a little bit to get the clams back. They can definitely hold this as long as they want.
Yeah. Here comes the Kraft from Divya. It's going to try and put Kraft from behind that spinner. Looking for a kill, and it finds it on Curse.
Nice launch shot.
Also weakened by that Kraft, and JJ finished it up. JJ with his power plant, going to try and shield. Outlast Jay on that bucket, and they are going to be able to score this with a very clean push, and this could be very dangerous for Ivan.
Very big.
Cakes is getting clam after clam in the Velvet took that top left there, and they had to drop back down to the Curse. But now look at JJ on the jet, gonna find a kill on Jay, looking for a kill on Kraft. Kraft squid rolling, trying to survive. They survive. Oh no! JJ kills him with the last shot before the recall. Auntie is still back in business. I Love Chima cannot really get a good hold on the map as they go 3 down again.
A bit out of position. Jay is here. They're still pushed back onto their spinner, and I want to say, that was a textbook early on from JJ. That was like a textbook Brella play. You draw aggro, your teammate shoots at people. That's how the weapon works.
Absolutely, and Auntie, they're back at it again. 2 go down both sides, but that Crab from Divya got a ton of value. Divya looks to follow up on that Crab. The Chums come up as well. Curse gets a nice kill. That might have been a rollover there. They will jump out from that pit, cutting their losses there. Jay in that Zipcaster with the bucket. With I Love Chima, they are running a double Zipcaster comp with the bucket and the sword. That Zip's not going to quite find anything and get canceled on the recall. And I Love Chima, they're down 3 again. Crash is going to pop their own Zipcaster, the last one in mid for I Love Chima. They're going to try and survive, but no, they're taken down by Auntie yet again. This game has been all Auntie so far as they look to get set for yet another push.
All Auntie. This is an incredibly aggressive Crab. Backed up by an Inkjet to pick up the 2 kills, trying to tank it. And just when you think that maybe Chima will finally get mid control back, Auntie just keeps up the pressure.
Yeah, they're at risk of knocking out here. 2 go down, so maybe now it's Cakes looks to maybe recenter and instead go for the KO. Saisabi and the Glugas, they're going to get caught out way earlier than they probably would have wanted. Divya gets the niceness. They probably were feeding there, to be honest. Like, Cakes gets a glue up for Auntie. They are all set to mid. There's a lot of blue in mid right now. Jay, they're in 1 puddle lane. They're going to have to jump out back to mid. Although 2 go down on the side of Auntie, this might be the opening that I Love Chima is looking for. Jay is going to try and take space on that block to get into the base of Auntie.
We don't get called out though. We can't see it on the camera. It's now Miyasabi. He's got to have to try to hold this ramp as much as possible. It is, they do have time, but not a whole lot of it to make this comeback. 15 is a crazy comeback.
Yeah, the momentum appears to be gone as 2 go down again on I Love Chima. They do have 1 Zcaster left, but with just 1 minute 24 seconds remaining, they're going to need a lot. Auntie has already gotten to 15. They're going to need a massive, massive push, likely more than 1 push if they want to come back and win this game. Velvet on this rapid pro is going to be forced back to the far left, and they will jump out. I Love Chima getting some control in mid. They have all 4 members up, which has not happened for a lot of this game. They have a Zipcaster up from Kraft on that sword. Divya is going to have to back up the rest of their team. Kraft is killed on the Zipcaster. Divya's going to take a fight and kills Curse. 3 go down again.
Dooley, the pro coming in to make his life miserable.
This game down.
Dang. They finally got as quickly as Chima gets mid control, it slips away from their fingertips. Now it's looking all purple. More jet kills. More Chima being caught out in the open.
JJ's gonna shield their Rico and find another kill on Saisabi. JJ is absolutely on fire here. They pick up the ball. They help take down Curse on the Dynamo there, and they don't really have to push here. They can just wait out the last 20 or so seconds if they really want to. We'll see what they opt for. Velvet's gonna try and fight Saisabi in mid on this rapid. They are hoping Craft is forced to the right with them as well. A Zipcaster comes out, it's Craft again. They're going to try and find some. They haven't found a lot on these Zips all game. Auntie has shut them down pretty much all the time. They shut down one more there as the Zip dies off screen.
A little bit more chance for contention of mid here, but just even without 2 going down, it's just simply I don't think there was enough economy for Chima to make this comeback. They've got their pity and basically nothing else to score with.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they're running out of time. They need to go halfway across the map to get a chance to get that ball in, but it's not going to work out. The Jet comes up from JJ. The Crash comes up from Divya, and that'll do it. Auntie takes game 1 in dominant fashion.
Any sort of leverage that Chima gained, it was shut down so quickly. I want to say that they just waited, really, for the other team to come to them before going in for the kill.
Yeah, I mean, for a team that wants to dive as often as I Love Chima does, Auntie, that is, took extreme advantage of that. Like, it felt like there were times where Auntie's push was wrapping up, they were settling back into mid, and I Love Chima just kind of jumped the gun almost, dove into mid, got punished for it, and then mid went right back to Auntie, who started off their new push with the Crab, with the Jet, with the Whale from the Rapid. And I think it just got to a point where they never really had all 4 up for long periods of time. Let alone paint control in mid, special output, anything else that wins games. Like, they were very reliant on winning those 1v1s, those high octane Zipcaster plays. When they work, but they're very high risk as well, and you could kind of see how that kind of backfired for I Love Chima there.
I think about half of that set we saw from the spectator cam was I Love Chima on the bad end of a 2v1.
Absolutely.
Really.
Yeah, I mean, Brella is a weapon that excels at those 2v1s, and we saw JJ just do such a good job of helping out with their teammates. Even when they weren't getting the kills themselves, they were getting damage, distracting people, drawing people's attention.
They say hi, Len.
Hi,
Len,
Len.
if you're watching.
I say hello to Len as well. Shouts to Len. But yeah, I mean, I think that with Auntie, like, they were just able to take so many 2v1s, 3v1s. I even saw a couple 4v1s in there from time to time. So it was just really, really good play by Auntie. Like, I want to shout Divya too. They did an excellent job cleaning up those 2v1s as well. They had some amazing crabs to boot. So really, really good job by Auntie as we move into game 2 here.
All right. We got a fair bit more games to play. These are best of 5 in top 8.
Yeah, and this one will be Mahi Zones, as we see the gold Dynamo come out, as well as a switch back.
Freaking samurai fit.
Yeah, it's a nice fit there. And there's no more bucket deco. Back to the boring vanilla bucket, or relatively boring.
Gold Dynamo for the chumps now, which means they're running coolerless.
That's true. No cooler here coming into Auntie, who has the same comp as game 1 here. They get an early kill on JJ and Velvet. This could be some interesting momentum here for I Love Chima. They find a third. It's just Divya. Divya has to jump out, and I Love Chima, they have full control. They have to capture zone first. Now they have it. And Jay is going to try and take a fight here on Divya, but they're not quite going to do it. Still some good early momentum for I Love Chima, who have done better now than have pretty much for all of game 1 here.
Yeah, without the cooler, they've got to be a bit more careful about not getting picked off. But having more specials to potentially hold this advantage could work really well in their favor if they're able to survive. See, we see a jump out there. Has to reserve a chunk for a reset, as he's now only see a zombie alive, but he's not long for this world.
Yeah, it's a delayed white for I Love Chima. And once again, you look to that inkjet for JJ. I Love Chima has had no answer for pretty much these first 2 games. It has just been dominant, getting kill after kill after kill. Here comes the Crab on the enemy snipe for Divya there. The strikes will be there to counter it, but it's not going to quite be as
fell into the water.
Fast. Oh, that's tragic. But 2 are down the side of I Love Chima, so it might not be quite in vain. Divya rolling around the zone, trying to hold this mid. No one has quite dropped yet. Saisabi's going to have this Bria bomb out. They're isolated on snipe, though. They have to drop off. Mark, Divya flanks around and gets the kill on them, though. Ending those shenanigans there. Divya still moving around and finally jump out there.
Yeah. Cutting their losses, just letting Chima have zone. As they're now spending 2 specials to keep the push going. Well, we were talking about getting up in their face. This Zip wants to go as far as possible into their base.
Yeah, look at Jay and Saisabi. They're in the spawn here. They don't care. They're down there moving. Jay gets punished for it. Kurtz gets punished for it as well, though. Auntie's doing well to not get overwhelmed here. Saisabi trying to get protected by the wall, but is taken out by someone above them. And just like that, Auntie has free reign to go back into mid, cap that zone. I love Chima has a lot of jumps there. An interesting play to keep them in aggression on jump. Two of them do get taken out though, so it might not have been worth it. Curse there is going to try and win the fight on JJ, but they shield and get taken out. Sasabi gets killed again on the jump. This aggressive jumping by I Love Chima has not really worked out for them so far. JJ's going to swim into their spawn. How about some spawn on spawn action? Both these teams are pushing as far as they possibly can. JJ gets taken out before they can pop that jet. That's a big win for I Love Chima.
Nicked by Southpaw from above, and a grab cancel is huge for this incoming push that Chima's going to go for. Strikes and Booyah coming out, and they still got 2 specials for the follow-up.
Yeah, Cake's getting a nice kill there. Sasabi follows up with another kill on Crab. That's a double for Cakes. They're going to look to move on the zone from left there, applying that paint, letting Divya move in, letting JJ move in on that side. JJ's going to pop the jet on top of Stead. Cakes finds another. That's a delayed triple for them. JJ gets another with the jet. That's a delayed wipe. Great play by Auntie.
Crab, you got to get out of there, man. At least back up a little bit. See, Asabi's the only one helping you out over in this far right. We're getting poked so much. Nope. Actually, I'm not really questioning him again. He had the zip. Stalling out for more time. There's a Crab potentially wasted. It's a bit far back. And now Brisket being shredded.
Yeah.
They're accomplishing very much.
Keep an eye on that timer. I Love Chima just went 2 down. There's 13 ticks left. They have to move it now. The chumps come in the zone. Crab looking to find a kill, and Divya finds it. That's
this could be the
but
chance.
They might not have enough to pay. They don't. Auntie survives the 2-down situation, and they take a 2-0 lead here in top 8.
One of those nail biter, just one more second, and the zone could have flipped moments. Moments right there at the end.
Yeah, I will say that was a much more back and forth game. I mean, it was the same result with Auntie winning. But I Love Chima, they did really well to get out of those situations where they couldn't break into mid, they got locked out, they had no opportunity to score points. They were capping that zone from time to time. They had a couple of cancels on that inkjet from JJ, on that Crab from Divya that allowed them to last in mid for a bit longer, but it just wasn't meant to be. They just weren't as sustainable as what Auntie was doing there. So it'll be a KO win for Auntie as they move on to game point here, and as we move on to tower control, Ship Cargo Company.
A bit of history. We were talking about this earlier during our sets. This is, well, actually, no, we were talking about Haggle, but this applies to this too. I'm a big fan of this map mode, and your team is not a big fan of tower control in general.
I'm not, because we have no AoE. But I mean, we got plenty of AoE here. I mean, like, especially for I Love Chima, you gotta think that they're kind of hoping for tower control here just to maybe help with this. This bucket is going to be good. The Dynamo is going to be good there. And I think for Ship specifically, that's a tongue twister and a half there. But for I Love Chima, there are going to be a lot of ways they can use this terrain to be advantageous, particularly if they can get it to that second checkpoint. I feel like that is a spot where I see buckets get really good kills in that area. You see a plush of some sort dangle. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry.
I'm not cultured either. I'm sorry.
I'm not cultured either. This is tragic. But yeah, I mean, like, I think there are a lot of good ways for I Love Chima to make use of this terrain by second checkpoint, like with the sword, the Dynamo, the Glugas, like pretty much everything. Like, they have all mid lines here, so.
They've got to be careful of the opposing AoE too. That rapid throw outranging the entire team is going to make it really annoying to try to push up to get into those corners in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, not many weapons are better at holding down the grates by first checkpoint than Rapid Pro Deco. There with that dart, with the whale, like. I think that if Velvet can get into good position to kind of hold that, I Love Chima is going to have a hard time breaking the first checkpoint, let alone talking about second checkpoint.
A lot of snowball potential here. I suppose that's true for all tower.
Yeah, that is the problem with tower. There's still potential everywhere. We'll see if any of these teams can prolong it, if it happens to get to the point where they get past second checkpoint, hurtling towards the end goal. But we will have to see as we're getting into game 3. It's game point.
See the teams rocking the same squad, it looks like, on Chima's end.
And we see a recycled Brella come out instead of the Sorella Brella.
For the bubble.
Yeah, for the bubble, but that's going to be quite interesting there to see how that plays out for JJ. There's going to be no more inkjet, which I think I Love Chima is going to be a big great moment considering how dominant that's been. JJ's going to take an aggressive angle past the tower, focusing on that right side for I Love Chima. They're all by themselves. Kraft goes down the other side of the map though, and JJ, they're not going to ultimately pursue it quite yet, although they're going to take a fight with Saisabi there, and Saisabi is going to come out victorious, and that's a big win for Saisabi there to snowball, but at least temporarily overtaking.
Yeah, they got to stay alive if they want to save a Booyah for this. Ooh, something catches them on the very far back. I couldn't quite see what that was. Perhaps the rapid throw shot. now Auntie is moving, and they use up a lot of specials to get to this point. But with the way that they're, with the amount that they're poking, I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to farm another one by the time they reach this checkpoint. There's already a bubble there, even if it is shredded a bit prematurely.
Yeah, it is just Cakes left, and they will jump out. So chima repels Auntie's Assault 4 now. They move into mid quickly. They go past mid. Saisabi is taking the fight in the court of Auntie. They're moving back up to the top left with Curse with them. Saisabi's going to put up a wall, get a nice kill there on Cakes. This could be the catalyst for chima to start, but the tower's all the way back there. They've not even started pushing it back past
We haven't
mid.
started riding it, and we're already in literally their spawn.
chima, they move fast, and there's one thing you know about them, they go fast. And we see them go fast here. Now this tower finally starts to move. Crab's going to try and get a ledge kill. They do not find it. Saisabi striking this court with the chumps up. They put a wall up, looking for something at court. They see Cakes, but Cakes takes them down before they can act. chima, they now have the tower at second checkpoint. They might be able to get it as no one on Auntie is really quite there yet. And yeah, that's
broken.
exactly what will happen.
Not going to be able to push much further, though. They just Curse and Saisabi here to try to hold it as the rest of the team is running in. You got a wall, but you're surrounded by paint and 2 people on the other side, pincered at the end. As 2 down on the Auntie side, I'm not interested in riding, but I think they can hold this mid area pretty well.
Yeah, no, it's kind of settling back into a somewhat similar. Well, Jay might have something to say about that as they get a nice kill inside the pit. Divvy is going to have to back up to make sure they don't get killed as well from Jay. And Jay making some nice moves there. It might not amount to much, though, as chima is 2 down again. A 3rd goes down. That's Jay moving back to mid. And Auntie looks like they're going to start another pushing it. They have a crab. They have a whale. There's 3 down on chima. And this could be dangerous. They still knock on past the elusive second checkpoint. But with these specials coming up, the crab and whale, the whale gets canceled. I mean, that was a bomb off the shield of the crab. The crab dies as well. There's 2 massive kills for chima. The Booyah Bomb comes out just like that. That's a lot of yellow in mid. chima is going to be moving quick to isolate JJ and Divvy on top. Curse does go down, though. 2 more go down. It's a wipeout. Auntie says, no, not today. We are holding strong, and we are going to push it now.
But the tower doesn't even make it back to mid entirely. As soon as it starts, Chima's comeback is now put on the back foot. Once again, they got to build specials. You have a bit of a numbers advantage, but again, with that early lead from Auntie, we're seeing this pattern again. With that early lead, they don't have to push too far. 2 minutes is a long time to stall, but they are not in desperate need of breaking that last checkpoint.
Absolutely not. It's not a very comfortable lead. Like, if chima, if the cards fall right for them, they can potentially overtake it. But I think Auntie's got to feel pretty comfortable with it as of now. Although we'll have to see. chima is making a push. They've already got past that first checkpoint. That was a nice kill on Craft there to maybe slow us all a bit more. But they go down, maybe overextending a bit into Cursed and Jay. JJ and Cursed are the last 2 by the tower. Divya on that top left is going to be crabbing to maybe repel Cursed a bit more. JJ sharking on the wall into pit. They're just by themselves. Craft sees them. Saisabi sees them. They're maybe going to try and drop the Craft, gets a nice kill on them. chima, they're tenuously holding the momentum here. The Booyah Bomb comes out maybe a bit early for Saisabi there. They're holding this top left. They're not really letting themselves being overtaken and made by Auntie, but they're not really pushing through to get to that second checkpoint either. It's very, very tenuous. This could honestly go either way right now.
It could go either way, yeah. As you said, Auntie is doing a great job holding that left side. We saw the crab earlier, and then the rapid throw poking that up, making it very uncomfortable to take the position that Chima needs to clear in order to gain the lead back.
Yeah, Crab is going to try and find something on this Zip. Cakes is shooting at them. Someone else shooting at Blue. That's Divya on the Dewey's on the left. They're going to kill the Zip caster there. Curse is to back up with that Crab there. JJ going to try and kill the Crab. It's not going to work. That Crab survives. Curse has 1 jump. JJ is going to try and come and kill that jump. That's Crab. Curse is sharking, and they get a trade. Wow, I had no idea how Divya didn't find Curse there, but they managed to get a trade out of it regardless.
And now we're back in the middle. Only 30 seconds left. Again, still on a comfortable lead. 9 points is not a lot, but it's not comfortable for either side because you saw how it's just 9 points for Chima, but you saw how JJ was able to hold that left.
Yeah, chima, they gotta go touch tower now. The Booyah Bomb is gonna be coming out. JJ's gonna wisely back up to make sure that they have their defense already all set up. They do have strikes and jumps out of Chima, that is. They're both coming out right now. JJ is taking the left flank all the way to the left of tower. They find 1, but Saisabi and the Glugas. 2 go down though. JJ goes down and Cakes goes down. It's a 2-on-2. Divya finds 1. Divya finds 2, and that's it. Auntie clutches it up. Lead was close, but no avail.
So
Auntie,
close.
they complete the sweep, and they are moving on to semifinals here for Big Dapple 8.
Just when they thought for once that left corner was finally empty, they have a dualies lying in wait, picking off anybody and all of their weapons that just honestly maybe a bit too slow to react. to that sudden aggression. Dang, only 4 points.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's absolutely fair to say that was I Love Chima's best game of the set, 100%. I think that they did a really good job holding mid for long periods of time. Unlike the first 2 games where it was mostly Auntie and mid for the grand majority of the game, there were long stretches of that game where I Love Chima was able to hold mid, get specials, get the passive special advantage from tower to help them. They weren't quite able to break through. They got very close. And honestly, props to Auntie. They got put in a situation where many teams would fold. I Love Chima was doing everything they needed to the right way. They were getting all the resources they needed to theoretically get the lead. But Auntie, they held strong. They had some great flanks. They had some great use of their own specials, particularly those crabs from Divya.
Yes, the crabs did such a good job at just preventing anyone from moving an inch. Yes.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, like, I think Divya, like, they clutched out, I believe that was a 1v2 at the end there. It was just them on that top left. They had to kill Jay, and I believe they had to kill Cursed as well. And they got both of them, and that's the game. Like, I think if they were a second late, or maybe like 4 seconds, I should say, or if they just messed up and died to them, like, that's the game, and we'd be going to a game 4. But we are not. They clutched it up. That's what these moments at lands are for. And they've attained the sweep.
We should be hearing from a representative of Auntie in a moment, if they wish to do a
post-game interview
post-game
time.
interview. Who do you want to call over? Here's the player list again. Look at this.
We did an interview from Auntie. No, I mean, I think overall with that set concluded, what